Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're going to break down a really clever technique for streamlining your Cucumber tests. We're talking about passing data into a scenario without having to set up a whole examples table. So let's kick things off with a question I'm pretty sure we've all asked ourselves. You've got just one set of data for one specific test. You know you need to parameterize it, but building out a whole scenario outline with an examples table, it just feels like way too much work for a single run, doesn't it? All right, so before we get to the cool shortcut, let's do a quick refresher on the standard, powerful way we all first learned to do this in Cucumber. I mean, it's the foundation for a very good reason. You know the drill. We use a scenario outline, right? We write our steps with these little placeholder variables like username and password, and then we feed the actual data into those spots using a nice, clean examples table. That Gherkin step then hooks up perfectly with a step definition that's ready to accept those variables as parameters. It's a super solid, clean, and really scalable pattern, especially when you're testing against a bunch of different data sets. Absolutely no question. But what if we're just dealing with that one little set of data? What if we could just, skip the table entirely for these simpler cases? Okay, let's dive into exactly how to do that. The key idea here is actually wonderfully simple. All we do is move the data from that examples table directly into the Gherkin step itself. So instead of placeholders, we just use the literal values right there. It's way more direct, and honestly, for a simple case like this, it's a lot easier to read. Okay, so the big question is, how on earth does Cucumber understand this? How does it know where to pull the parameters from? Well, the magic happens in the step definition, and it uses one of the most powerful tools in programming, regular expressions. It's really just a straightforward three-step process. First, you write your Gherkin step with the actual data. Then you tweak the annotation in your step definition to look for and capture that data. And finally, you just add parameters to your Java method to catch what you've captured. Simple as that. Now, let's look at the little pattern that makes this whole thing tick. It's $quotes, open and close parentheses, quotes, $. This simple regex is the key. It basically tells Cucumber, hey, see any text inside a pair of quotes? Grab it. I'm going to need it as a parameter. And what's really cool is that each one of those XID capture groups maps directly and in order to a parameter in your Java method. So the first one fills in the username string, the second one fills in the password string. It's just a clean, direct line from the feature file straight into your code. Now, while that regular expression works perfectly fine, the team behind Cucumber actually gave us an even more readable, more native way to do this. It's called Cucumber Expressions, and they're designed to make your step definitions way more intuitive. And yeah, the difference is like night and day, right? Instead of the kind of cryptic quote-unquote, you can just use string. It does the exact same thing, but it's so much cleaner because you're literally stating your intent. I expect a string to be here. For readability, this is definitely the way to go. So, the really crucial thing here is understanding when this is the right tool for the job. It's not about replacing scenario outlines altogether, it's about adding a more lightweight, flexible option to your testing toolkit. So why bother with this method? Well, for those simple, single-run scenarios, it just makes your feature files way less cluttered and a lot more direct. The test data is living right there with the test description, which makes it super easy for anyone on the team to see exactly what's being tested at a single glance. And this leaves us with a final thought, doesn't it? When you learn how to simplify one common pattern, it kind of opens your eyes to improving others. It gets you to question the boilerplate and look for more elegant solutions everywhere. So, take a look at your own workflow. What's the next thing you can streamline?